Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jay Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're thrilled to have Karen Yankovich, the CEO of Uplevel Media. Karen is a LinkedIn marketing expert with over 20 years of experience in IT, marketing, and customer relationships, bringing a unique blend of corporate and entrepreneurial insights to her work. Based in New York, Uplevel Media, founded in 2001, empowers entrepreneurs, especially women in business, to boost their revenue and online presence through strategic LinkedIn marketing. Karen is also the host of the Good Girls Get Rich podcast, inspiring countless business owners to leverage LinkedIn for growth. We'll be exploring her founding story, how her business transforms clients' LinkedIn strategies, and her vision for scaling this impact-driven venture. With that being said, let's dive right in. Karen, welcome to Founders Future.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here with you today.
An absolute pleasure, Karen. An absolute pleasure. A fellow podcaster. Love having podcasters on the show. So let's start at the top, right? Take us back to the beginning for our listeners, if you can. What specific problem in the digital marketing or LinkedIn landscape really inspired you to start Uplevel Media?
I've been around a little bit longer than LinkedIn and social media, and I grew up learning relationship marketing, so relationship sales. And when social media and online marketing did become a thing, of course, I got excited and jumped around like everyone else and started learning how to use all these platforms. But at the end of the day, what was still true was that if I ask 100 people where they got their biggest opportunity from, 99 of them were saying a referral. So yes, social media is important. It's great for our visibility. It's great to build trust and that know and trust factor. But people still buy from other people, at least for the higher ticket things, which is where I specialize, right? I don't have any idea how you sell 100 of something for $1. But if you want to sell something for $10,000, I'm your person, right? So because of that, I felt like because I learned that, I didn't realize that was something that I was learning as I went. It was just something I was doing. It was the only way to do things. So when I started to realize that, I kept gravitating to LinkedIn. And when I realized that, I'm like, you know what? This is what more people need to understand. And that's really why I started to do what I do.
He's amazing. Definitely would love to get into the nuts and bolts, right? I mean, especially for our listeners who are tuning in once this airs, can end up hearing it and say, hey, I want to come and work with Karen. This is going to take me to that next level. So walk us through that core
Mhm.
offer there and how you're generating revenue with Uplevel Media, Karen. What
Yeah.
is your go-to-market? I know that you have the LinkedIn profile optimization, strategy development. What's that real core offer there, and how is it structured for your clients when they come to you?
Yeah, I am not a business coach. We don't really teach business coaching. What I basically do is help primarily women step into their next chapter with more confidence so that they can make more impact, have more influence, and frankly, more income. I just think that that's there for us. So many of our clients are in some kind of transition, right? Maybe they're leaving corporate and they want to be a consultant, or maybe they just are done with you can be a six-figure coach stuff when you pay all your bills, you're making less money than your kid that works at McDonald's, right? Like you want to just make more money, right? You just want to level up. We help these people create, market, and create a brand for themselves, and then create, market, and sell a higher ticket package. Now, I started out by saying I don't help people sell 100 of something for $1. However, I do have a program because I do want to be able to get this message out to more people. And our program that we have, which is the only program we have right now, which is called She's Linked Up, and you can check it out at sheslinkedup.com. It takes women through the process, and primarily women. I say women because I think women feel more excluded on LinkedIn. I'm not really looking to exclude men. I just want women to feel more included, right? So we have plenty of men that we help. But from a program perspective, that's really what we do. We write your LinkedIn profile for you because I think it's really hard to write your own profile. And really, we want to position you as if your peers with the most influential people in your industry, because most of the women we work with are not coming to this new chapter cold, right? They're bringing years and years of expertise. So we have this program. It's a 12-week program. We've just restructured it so that you have lifetime access to the community and the program and all the group calls that we do. And really, it's to help you we say like we throw you into a phone booth so you come out looking like Superwoman, right? Like
I love it.
really shining a light on your achievements, shining a light on your brand. And then we also sprinkle some PR strategies on that because if you are stepping into a new chapter and it's new to you, right? You might not have a lot of, you might be doing this work forever, but you might not have a lot of references and testimonials for that. So the PR piece helps build your credibility while you're building your business. So we help people get podcast interviews, TV interviews, whatever's valuable to them because that helps people. Like I'm here with you, right? And somebody that's watching this may have never heard me before. If they met me on the street, they would have no idea if I have any credibility or not. But they believe you have credibility. That's why they're watching. So I get to borrow that credibility. So that's what we teach in the program. I also work with people privately. So it really just depends on how much of a high touch you want. We've restructured the program so that we can keep the investment low and we can bring in lots more people this year, which we're excited about. And we still managed to create it in a way that I feel really good about being high touch. And so right now, Uplevel Media really only has, there's a couple of other things you can buy because we've had things over the years, but the only things we really market is our She's Linked Up program and then anything deeper, like VIP days with me, or I have private clients that I work with corporate clients. But that's obviously on a limited basis because that's not as scalable. But what we scale is our program.
I absolutely love that. So having that mindset and knowing your go-to-market, knowing who you can truly help and benefit here, what do you see is working best for the acquisition side here, Karen? Whether
Yeah.
it's referrals or ads, what
So what I can tell you this, what used to work is not working
okay.
anymore. And it's been a really crazy year or two for that. And I think I'm not alone in that. I know a lot of my peers are feeling the same way. So I believe what we teach really is where people need to be right now. And that is building trust with your audience, building trust with things like this, with interviews, building trust by creating relationships. And if throw my name into Google, 10 pages come up. That's deliberate. That gives me credibility. And that right there, I think, is what works. So when I say we teach LinkedIn marketing, it's when I talk about lead gen, it's not just leads like who's going to buy your stuff. In fact, like if I'm going to categorize them, there's three categories. That's probably the last category we talk about. The first category is who else has an audience of people similar to yours. Building those partnership relationships, those JV relationships, the one to many is a much better use of LinkedIn. I often say we're not going to LinkedIn to sell a pen. We're going to LinkedIn to get a distributor that wants to buy 100,000 of your pens. So we take that same mindset, like who can you partner with that might be able to bring you a lot of business? And then the second category being the PR piece, right? Who are the journalists, the newspaper articles, the podcast hosts that talk about what you're an expert in? And are you building relationships with them? Do they come to you when they have a question about your industry? And then the third category is that, of course, who might want to buy your stuff. But we don't go straight there. We do love those first two categories because that's what makes it magnetic. People still come to us, they still book calls on our calendar to join our program, but they do it through those first two categories way more than that third category. We have done ads over the year and we'll probably do ads again. So I'm not saying that ads are not a thing. I just think that right now LinkedIn marketing is where most of the business is happening for many of the people I talk to.
I love it. So LinkedIn marketing is really the bread and butter.
I think so. I think, some people come to me and they say, but I am B2C. Why do I need LinkedIn? Because of those first two categories, right? Because of those first two categories. Who might want to buy, like who's just opening a chain of stores that might want to buy, put 100 of your pens in each one of their stores. So even though your pen technically is a B2C product,
Yep.
you can still go B2B with those first two categories. And that's where we build really profitable businesses, not the 100K and hope we can break even at the end of the month kind of business.
Absolutely incredible on that front. So walk us through the sales process. Karen, you've been at this for quite some time. Are you running the show on your own here? Do you have a sales team, marketing team?
We've done a little bit of all of the above over the years.
Yeah.
I really enjoy sales calls
Yeah.
or enrollment calls. I really do. I enjoy getting to know the people on the other end. So I definitely do a lot of the sales calls, and we have had sales teams in the past. At the time that we're recording this interview, it's like spring of 2025. We pulled the program for a couple of months because we revamped it so that we could reprice it. But also, I felt like there were things we needed to change in it based on the changes we were seeing in the market. So we've just re-released it. So we haven't brought in a new sales team yet. Right now, we're still working our warm network and very successfully.
I love it. So that's definitely something that you're looking though in the near future with that course where it's at
Listen,
now.
I would love to have this stream of clients that or this stream of this of sales calls that would require more. I love doing them, and I probably always will do them.
Yeah.
Over the years, we've definitely had other people doing them as well as me, and sometimes it's interesting. It's really interesting to see what they come up with when other people are doing your sales calls as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So with that right there, then, Karen, obviously things are really working well, right? Clicking on all cylinders, you got the course back up and running, adjusted some things, the price looks great, you're bringing more clients on. What would you point to though as something you're thinking about as a bottleneck right now? Something you look at, whether it's the lead generation side, converting those clients or those
For
inquiries.
the course specifically, you
No,
mean?
just overall
Yeah.
for the business. Of course, obviously a big piece of it. That sounds like the main go-to for you, but what is the biggest bottleneck for the business as a whole?
I don't necessarily know that we have a bottleneck right now, to be honest. I
Awesome.
do think that there's our podcast, my podcast brings in a lot of our business. So we spend a lot of time promoting that because when people book a call on my calendar and they say, I'm a podcast listener, they've got their credit card in their hands. They're ready to buy. They just want to know what is it that they need to do. So we put a lot of effort into marketing the podcast, and there's a lot of admin that goes around that and a lot of admin that goes around the promo of that. I don't know that that's necessarily a bottleneck. If it was, so it's really, but that's really probably right now what is taking up a lot of our time, because as we are relaunching She's Linked Up, we are also really coming out hard with the marketing, and it's been a lot. It's been a
It's
lot.
yeah, I can imagine. And are you hosting that podcast full
Oh
time?
yeah.
You have other hosts that help you out. No, it's
No,
just
no, it's all me. It's all me. I have some guest experts,
yeah.
but sometimes we have some guests on the show. At most, though, the guests are every other show.
Okay.
Right now, as we're recording this, we've got 5 episodes in a row coming out that are solo shows around hard, like back to basics LinkedIn strategy.
Ah,
So those are all solo shows. But we do have, but I've interviewed a couple of guests that'll be coming out after we're finished running those. But yeah, we're on episode like 320 or something. So we've been doing this a long time.
amazing.
And the
I love
podcast it's just a great source of leads for us.
yeah, it's incredible to be able to just not only get so much information, build that brand, and as you mentioned, you're just attracting who your audience, right, to your brand. It's a beautiful thing all the way around. We definitely love it here at Closed with the Founders Future side of things. So paint us a picture, Karen. I would love to see in your mind a little bit here the rest of 2025 going into 2026. What are your top priorities for growing Uplevel Media? What are you laser focused on? Paint that picture for us now.
So what I'm laser focused on right now is growing our She's Linked Up program, because I think I think there's never been a time in history that having control of our own destiny has been more important. And that leads down to back to your personal brand, right? We have people worried about their jobs. They don't know if their company's going to be secure, if their job will be secure. We have so many people in this place in time that are worried about their future. And there's never investing in yourself is never a bad investment. So that's why we revamped it in a way that we can lower the price, but we can't keep it there. For sure the price is going up because we did what we could for and we'll do that for as long as we can. And remember, I said we write your LinkedIn profile. There's overhead to those kinds of things, right? And our profile writers are top notch. So our goal for the rest of this year is to get as many people, we want to help as many people as possible show up as their best selves and understand. I like to refer to it as flipping the funnel, right? So many people, when they're stepping into their next chapter, they think they need to like first sell the $10 things and the $20 things. And I feel like, I don't know, when I hear the word funnel, all I see in my head is 35,000 sales pages. You need right, and a payment page and a thank you page, and then an email that goes out for that, and so much busy work. If you are selling a 10K consulting package or a 25K consulting package, you don't need a sales page at all, right? You just need a great LinkedIn profile and expertise that you can talk about, right? So I like to say that we help people flip the funnel, make some real money in their business when they're going into this new chapter, so they can pay people to do all the millions of sales pages you need if you want to build a funnel or a program.
Absolutely love that. So, talk to us then with that vision that you have, with where you're really trying to take this. How do you see the LinkedIn marketing industry evolving in the coming years, Carrie, especially with your relationship driven
Yeah.
approach? What are you doing to keep yourself at the forefront of that evolution?
I'm sure that there's somebody listening to this that's going, LinkedIn, all I get is spam. All I get
Yeah.
is bots and spam.
Yeah.
I believe that, I guess it can continue. I'm hoping it doesn't continue. I believe that 100 crappy leads is a really big waste of your time. And even though it feels less sexy and more time consuming to be building actual relationships with people, at the end of the day, I close almost everybody that books a call on my calendar. That's very different than if I'm getting all these cold leads thrown on my calendar from bots. So I believe that when people, and how do I know this is true? Because when it doesn't work, they come to me and they
Yes.
say, I can't do this anymore. I had 100 calls. I didn't close any of them. You know what I mean? What I can't, and I'm getting shut down by LinkedIn and I'm pissing people off. So I believe that the best way to use LinkedIn is what we're talking about here. And I think more and more people are starting to realize that. If you also notice, LinkedIn is the only social media platform that hasn't been on Capitol Hill trying to defend itself, right? It is steady, it is tried and true, it is where people meet other people, it is where networking is happening online. And I don't think it's going anywhere. And I think it's where all the money is. I'm pretty excited about what the rest of this year can bring for LinkedIn. I actually refer to LinkedIn as my money tree. If you don't go on LinkedIn because you're worried about all the bots, that's the weeds. Don't kill your money tree because you're worried about the weeds. Pull them, throw them out, delete them, and focus on watering your money tree, and you will not regret it.
Amazing. Oh, amazing. With that there, Karen, I want to take us into the lightning round here. It's been a pleasure and an honor having you. And so important. I really hope our listeners are tuning in closely with this one because you are giving out some gold with how important it is to be on LinkedIn to take advantage. And again, I think you're going to be getting some calls after this airs as well.
I
Karen,
would love that. And you
there
can go right on LinkedIn. There's a link to my calendar on my LinkedIn profile,
it
right in
is.
my featured section. I make it
I
easy.
love it. So for the lightning round, what's a tool or a resource that you're using, whether it is a LinkedIn strategy or AI tool or marketing insight? What's really been a game changer for Uplevel Media this far?
Yeah, listen, I actually I did a podcast episode, which I left up because this thing, life changes. I did a podcast episode about 2 years ago about why I hate AI. I no longer hate AI. I think AI is brilliant and it's been really helpful to us. Like, for example, like all the busy work I mentioned around the podcast, if you ever listen to a podcast, you can tell it's not scripted. I
Yeah.
do not script what I do. So it's my voice and my words, but then AI is a huge help in doing the post-production stuff. And it saves so much time. And honestly, I've been doing it myself, even though I have a team, because sometimes when I have a team, I give it to them and then I get it back and I'm like, that's not really the point of this podcast. So now I can tweak it until it's exactly I make sure that the marketing around the show is exactly what I want it to go out on. AI has been hugely helpful. And the more I use, and I'm a ChatGPT user, man. No
Yep.
fancy ones. I'm a ChatGPT user. The more I use it, the better it knows me. And I love it. And it is truly almost like a marketing arm of my business now. I don't have it write new things for me, but I have it take what I've done and get me all the promo stuff for it.
I love it. Just to finish this off here, Aaron, what is a piece of advice that you can offer to our listeners tuning in, other founders, entrepreneurs, or just people looking to join you and get into the LinkedIn space and really take advantage of it? What can you offer them before we wrap up the show?
All right. So I'm going to give them a little piece of homework. I'm going to say, get a giant sticky note, stick it on your wall and write $25,000 on the top or $50,000 on the top. And then just brainstorm what you can offer somebody for that big fat chunk of money. Like and it's probably less than you think, right? You don't need to have, I don't care about, and I'm going to give them a pen. Like you don't need to do that, but just like what's going to give them, if you're charging 25,000, what's going to give them $200,000 worth of value? Like really just take a month and do that. And then think about who are the people that can buy that and come back over to LinkedIn and meet them and start talking to them. Stop messing around and telling me you're going to sell $100 something. Put a number that you can't even imagine you can sell something for on your wall and brain dump what you can offer for that. And then in a couple of weeks, when you're starting to feel comfortable with that, think about who on LinkedIn might be somebody that would invest in that with you and just have conversations. You don't have to offer it. You're not selling. You're just building relationships with them. And when you sell one, I want you to call me and buy me a cup of coffee.
There it is. I
Send me a
love
Starbucks gift card because if
a
you're going to
little
sell one, you're going to
Starbucks.
sell one.
Incredible. With that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Karen, I can't thank you enough. Your energy is infectious. It was incredible to have you on the show sharing your journey and your insights, and truly a pleasure. I can't wait to keep up with what you're doing.
It's been a lot of fun and I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed the episode, which I know so many of you have, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also check out Uplevel Media at KarenYankovich.com for their free LinkedIn training, or schedule a consultation at chatwithKarenY.com. Follow Karen on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Karen Yankovich. And for more resources and insights, you can visit us here at closers.io, where we're dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth through trained appointment setters and world-class marketing systems. Until then, keep climbing, and we'll see you on the next one.